At the beginning of the story, we see a girl named Simone running to submit her paper. She runs straight to her friends. Simone was talking to them when suddenly her dad Frederick comes running there. Frederick tells her friends to run away from here to some other place as fast as possible. Frederick starts taking his daughter away from there and says that a poisonous rain is about to fall in just a little while. Frederick was moving forward quickly with his car. On the other side, dark clouds spread across the entire city. Here, Frederick was taking his whole family far away to some bunker so that they could all survive that poisonous rain. Frederick tells his son to fasten his seatbelt, and in the meantime, his attention gets distracted, causing his car to collide with another car. And in no time, the entire road gets jammed with cars. Here, Frederick asks a man to move his car from the front, but the road ahead was completely blocked. So he takes his family and leaves from there, and they all run straight towards the forest. A man stops them from behind, but they do not listen to anyone and move straight towards the bunker and quickly reach it. Here, Frederick quickly places his fingerprint and opens the bunker, and everyone goes inside. As soon as they go in, the first drop of rain from the sky falls on a leaf behind them, and heavy rain begins. As soon as they come inside the bunker, Frederick fully sanitizes his family so that they can be saved from the poisonous rain. Just then, Frederick hands a device to his wife Ellen and says that this device contains all the information related to the bunker. Just then, Frederick wears a suit and gets ready to go outside. Before leaving, Frederick tells his daughter Simone that I will have to go outside no matter what, because I am the only one who can stop this poisonous rain, and if it is not stopped, no one will survive. But Simone tries to stop him from going outside. However, Frederick tells her that I promise I will come back no matter what. He asks her to take care of her brother and then leaves. As soon as he leaves, Simone looks at her mobile phone and sees that her friends are also in trouble because her friends' parents had also been killed due to that poisonous rain. Seeing this, she gets very frightened. Meanwhile, Ellen was making chocolate for the kids, but from her face and trembling hands, it was clearly visible that fear was growing inside her too. Just then, someone starts banging loudly on the bunker door. Here, Ellen stops them and explains that if it were your dad, he would have come inside on his own by placing his fingerprint. So she tells them to ignore that sound. But Simone says to her mother that we should check. Maybe it is our dad. So she immediately comes and opens the bunker door, and the same man was standing in front of her, who had previously been stopping them from going into the forest. That man had been completely soaked in the rain and had become infected. And in the meantime, he grabs Simone's brother and pulls him outside. But just then, Ellen runs and jumps on that man. And during this, due to that poisonous rain, she starts writhing in pain. She tells both of them to go inside quickly. So Simone immediately closes the bunker door. Seeing their mother dying, they burst into tears because now their mother was no longer among them. Just then, Simone calls her dad, but her dad was not picking up her call, meaning he was also in some kind of danger. After this, she puts her brother to sleep for the night. The next day, Simone's brother finds that same device which his dad had given to his mother. When Simone looks at it, she finds a map of many more bunkers, meaning there are more such bunkers present in this forest. And here we come to know that Frederick was a scientist, and his company Apollo had built all these bunkers here because Frederick already knew that a poisonous rain would happen very soon, which would cause everyone to die in agony. That is why he had brought his family into the bunker on time. Seeing this, she quickly sends a signal to the other bunkers asking for help, but unfortunately, she receives no signal from anywhere. Just then, an idea comes to her mind, and she starts looking for a radio in the bunker, and luckily, she finds the radio there. She quickly calls for help on that radio, but there were no signals there either. Seeing this, she asks her brother to take the radio antenna up, and luckily, signals come through. Simone immediately talks to a boy named Flip from another bunker, but before she could talk more, the signals get cut. Seeing this, tears come to her brother's eyes. But at night, she hears Flip's voice on the radio again. She was talking to him when unfortunately, the signals get cut once again. Days and months pass like this, and we are shown a time 6 full years later, where Rasmus has grown up and he had grown tired of waiting for his dad, so he gets very angry at Simone. Therefore, Simone now starts thinking and decides to go outside from the bunker. So when Rasmus was sleeping, she closes his room door, wears a protective suit against the virus, and after 6 full years, opens the bunker door. And as soon as she comes outside by opening the door, she hears her mother's screams from everywhere around her, but she holds herself together and moves forward. And walking along, she arrives toward the city. As soon as she arrives, she sees a sign there pointing forward, which was 2,500 meters away. Simone follows that sign and reaches inside a building where she can see nothing but piles of dead bodies everywhere. Just then, A dog spots her there and suddenly starts chasing her. She runs and hides in a room. The next morning, when Rasmus wakes up and comes to her, Simone tells him that last night she went outside the bunker, and outside there are piles of dead bodies everywhere, and no one is left alive. Hearing this, Rasmus gets a little frightened, so he tells her that tomorrow morning we will both go from here towards another bunker. But at night, suddenly the air vents get blocked, and oxygen starts running out inside the bunker, causing Simone to faint. But right at that moment, Rasmus drags her out of the bunker, and as soon as they come outside, some people grab them. They were the ones who had blocked the air vents of the bunker. That is why the oxygen had run out. Actually, when Simone had gone outside that night, those people had spotted her. They take both of them back inside the bunker and lock them in a room. Those people search for food there, but all the food had run out. So their leader Martin says, "Leave those two here alone to rot," and then everyone starts to leave. But just then, Simone calls out to him and tells him that I know about more bunkers like this one, but their location is known only to me, and those bunkers have a lot of food stored in them. Hearing this, Martin thinks it over and includes both of them in his group. After this, they all move forward from there, and tired and worn out, they rest at one place. Here, Martin tells Simone that maybe we are the only ones left in this world, because outside the entire world has been destroyed due to that poisonous rain, and those who are left are killing each other because all the food is running out. That is why I had come there to search for food, and I was forced to take you as prisoners. After this, the scene cuts, and we are shown Martin, because he was a soldier. He was ordered to kill a woman who had become infected from that rain. But Martin sees a child in that woman's arms and cannot shoot her. And because of that infected woman, all his companions got caught in that virus, and along with that woman, they all die. But he managed to save his own life and ran away from there. After this, the scene comes to the present, where they all were moving towards other bunkers. But just then, Martin spots some hunters there. Seeing them, he immediately hides down. Those hunters fly their drone there, and suddenly they see a girl running. They run after her to catch her. Taking advantage of this, Martin tells everyone to leave from there, but Simone refuses him and says that we should save that girl's life. So not wanting to, they all run to save her. And a little further ahead, they find that girl stuck in the dirty water of the rain, who had now become infected. So Martin immediately shoots and kills her, and they move forward from there. A little further ahead, they reach near a building. As soon as they arrive there, they see piles of dead bodies everywhere. As soon as they come inside the building, they all start firmly closing the windows and doors so that no one can attack them from outside at night. Luckily, they also find clean drinking water in that building, so they decide to spend that night there. As soon as morning comes, they start their journey again. And a little further ahead, Rasmus's foot sinks into the water of the poisonous rain. When Martin finds out, he tells everyone to stay away from him because he was also about to become infected. And just then, Martin was about to shoot him when Simone comes in front of him and stops him from firing because she did not want to lose her brother. But when a girl named Beatrice checks his shoes, those shoes were waterproof and the water had not touched his feet at all. So he survives and they all move forward again. And coming a little further ahead, they find that second bunker. Here, Simone quickly places her fingerprint and opens that door. As soon as they go inside, they find a huge amount of food there, with which they all fill their stomachs after many days. Meanwhile, Simone finds a mobile phone there, where she finds a video from Frederick's boss. In it, his boss is asking him to come to Sweden urgently. He also says that you are the only person who can stop this poisonous rain. That is why Simone shows that video to Martin and says that, one way or another, her dad must definitely be in Sweden. She tells Martin that we should leave for Sweden today itself, but Martin clearly refuses her and says that I do not think anyone will be alive there because no one else has survived here except us. So he leaves from there, but Simone was still worried about her dad, so both siblings set off forward from there that very day. Meanwhile, Beatrice and her friend come and ask about Simone and Rasmus. Martin tells them that those two have left for Sweden to find their dad. Hearing this, those two also leave Martin alone there and move forward to find them. Coming just a little further ahead, they find both Simone and her brother Rasmus. Meanwhile, only Martin and Patrick are left alone in that bunker. So Martin is very angry. Here, all the friends move forward once again, and in a building, they eat their fill. They had just sat down after eating when those hunters arrived there. Seeing them, they all turn around and run away from there. But during this, Simone had become separated from the rest of her friends. While searching for them, she arrives at a place where she sees a child standing. But just then, she sees dark black clouds growing in the sky. So she takes that child and runs away from there. That child starts taking pills to suppress hunger. But just then, Simone gives him some food. And in the meantime, that child's father arrives there. And thinking Simone is a hunter, he takes his child and leaves from there. And as soon as he comes outside, inside, those hunters surround him there and beat him badly. Seeing this, Simone runs away from there in fear, but while running, a man spots her from behind. Meanwhile, as soon as Simone comes into a building, she finds her friends there. She tells them to run away from there, but just then, that same man arrives, who had seen Simone running. He asked them for food, but they had no food. So that man grabs Rasmus and was about to kill him when Martin arrives there and points a gun at him. So out of fear, that man stabs him with a knife and runs away from there, and Rasmus starts writhing there badly. So Simone tells Martin that there is another bunker nearby. We will have to go there quickly. Now somehow or other, they take Rasmus from there and run towards that bunker. They quickly reach that bunker, and coming inside, they immediately bandage Rasmus's wound. Meanwhile, Martin shows Simone a device which had a map of the entire city. Martin tells her that where there is a wall in this map, there will surely be no virus, because the government must have built it for that very purpose, so that infected people cannot go to the other side. If we reach this place, maybe we can survive. Meanwhile, Rasmus's wound was also slowly getting worse. Seeing this, Simone tells Martin that we need a doctor, otherwise Rasmus's condition will get even worse. So Martin also agrees, and there Simone's friend points her towards a place and tells her that from that way, you can go inside. But those hunters are also present there. They can catch you at any time. But Simone had no other way to save her brother, so she moves forward from there. But just then, a drone from above starts chasing her. Dodging it, she quickly comes inside a building. And in the meantime, those hunters arrive there and take her at gunpoint. But just then, Simone's friends arrive and gun them down. Here, Martin asks them about that wall, but they clearly refuse from the front. In the meantime, a boy named Jean sees a snake tattoo on the arm of one of the hunters. Seeing this, a strange fear settles inside him, and he immediately tells Martin to kill all of them. So Martin reloads his gun and kills them right there, and they all take Rasmus from there and move towards that doctor. They were moving forward when Jean's mind drifts to thoughts of that same tattoo. Along with this, the scene goes into a flashback where Jean was living in a house. There were 3 people, including a little girl, her mother and father. Because Jean's mother and father had been killed by that virus, he had found shelter in a house. One day when Jean was working in that house, a vehicle of hunters arrives there. Then that girl's father goes outside to see, and those hunters ask him something, but he refuses from the front, and for not telling them, they shoot him dead right there. Meanwhile, Jean was also watching them through a crack. Just then, he sees the same man there who had the snake tattoo printed on his arm. Seeing this, Jean forcefully covers that girl's mouth shut so that those hunters cannot hear her voice. In the meantime, those hunters also grab the girl's mother and take her away from there. When they leave, Jean removes his hand from the girl's mouth. But when he looks, that girl had breathed her last. Seeing this, Jean is completely broken from inside. After this, the scene comes to the present, where they all reach a place. There they use the drone to find the doctor's house, and after finding it, they reach that doctor's house. And just then, they knock on that doctor's door. Just then, that doctor comes outside and points a gun at them. But somehow Simone calms her down, and right then and there, Martin tells her everything, that they need her help very much. So she agrees to help them, and that doctor stitches up Rasmus's wound. In the meantime, she tells them that Rasmus's wound has not fully healed yet, so we will have to give him a tetanus injection. She tells them that for the injection, we will have to go to a bunker which is near her house. So the 3 of them head towards that same bunker, and as soon as they arrive, Simone sees the same bunker which belonged to her dad's company, Apollo. The doctor tells her that I also worked at Apollo Company, so I was also given this very bunker. Coming inside, that doctor prepares an injection for Simone and ties her to a bed. Just then, that doctor pushes Simone and ties her with a rope as well. She tells her that because of your dad, Frederick, my entire family died. Even my children were killed because of that rain. The doctor tells her that if your dad had not done that experiment, that poisonous rain would not have happened. And today, my children and my family would have been alive. Meanwhile, the other friends were searching for food in that doctor's house. Just then, Martin looks outside and sees that those hunters had arrived. Here, when Jean looks, the same hunter was standing outside who had the snake tattoo on his arm. Seeing this, he is completely startled. So he picks up a gun and comes outside and guns down that hunter right there. But just then, those hunters come and grab him. Seeing this, the rest of the kids and friends run away from there. Meanwhile, that doctor was just about to inject Rasmus with that poisonous injection when Patrick arrives there and shoots her dead. And right then and there, they all run away from there. And they start their onward journey again. And coming just a little further ahead, they see a house in the distance with the lights on, meaning someone is living there. So they come near it, but just then, a man comes in front of them. He gives them permission to spend the night inside his house, but they will have to leave their weapons outside. So not wanting to, they go inside that house. Coming inside, there were many people wearing the same clothes in front of them, which makes them feel something strange there. They give them a room to spend the night, in which they complete their sleep. And as soon as morning comes, a woman named Karen tells them to have breakfast, and after many days they eat their fill today. But the strange thing was, where did all this food come from for these people? After this, inside that house, Simone brings Rasmus to a doctor because his wound was slowly getting worse. That doctor brings out an injection, which was exactly the same as the one the earlier doctor had, who wanted to kill them. So seeing this, Simone refuses and says treat Rasmus without making him unconscious. So that doctor puts that injection aside, and when that doctor's attention goes towards Rasmus, right at that moment, Simone hides an injection from there with herself. She quickly starts checking those injections. As soon as she checks them, she finds out that these were the injections of Apollo Company. At night, all the people were eating, but meanwhile, Martin was secretly searching the entire house. Just then, he opens a refrigerator, and in front of him, a cut human body was hanging there, seeing which the ground slips from under his feet. Meanwhile, that man gives everyone a small packet and tells everyone that if a small flower comes in anyone's packet, that person will have to give their life. Meaning, to satisfy everyone's hunger here, we are going to cut that person. Hearing this, they are all completely startled. They try to leave from there, but they are made to sit back down. Just then, Martin arrives and punches that man in the face, but in the meantime, that doctor takes him at gunpoint. That man asks everyone to open their packets. Here, slowly, everyone starts opening their packet, but finally, when Lena opens her packet, that flower comes out from her packet. Seeing this, she is completely horrified. Those people start taking her away from there, but just then, that same woman, Karen, takes that flower from her hand and says that I consider her like my daughter. That is why I do not want her to become our food. She says that instead of Lena, I myself am ready to give my life. Hearing this, Lena starts crying there, and that woman shakes her hand one last time and leaves from there. After this, they all get ready to leave from there. Just then, Simone asks that doctor about her dad, Frederick. The doctor tells her that yes, I was Frederick's assistant, and both mine and Frederick's hands are in the spreading of this virus. Hearing this, Simone walks away from there, feeling sad. But just then, that man also tells that doctor to leave his house. Meanwhile, all the people were moving forward through the forest when that same doctor arrives there and showing an injection says that because of this very injection, that poisonous rain spread and everything was destroyed. Just then, he plunges that injection into his own throat, causing him to writhe in pain. But just then, Martin shoots him, and his work is finished right there. That night, they spend in an empty house, and as soon as morning comes, Martin shows Simone that same map in which that wall was. He tells her that we will have to reach there somehow or other, otherwise our survival will be difficult. So Martin tells everyone to cross that wall from there. But here, Rasmus refuses him and says that I cannot go because my health is not up to going outside right now. But Simone does not want to leave her brother alone. So she asks someone to stay with him. Here, Beatrice agrees to stay with him. After this, the four of them set off from there. Coming just a little further ahead, they find another bunker there. Coming inside, they see some paintings made there, meaning a family was living in this bunker. Luckily, they find a lot of food there as well. In the meantime, Patrick finds a tablet in which some videos were recorded. When Patrick gives that tablet to Simone, she finds out that her dad Frederick's hands were also behind this poisonous rain. Seeing this, she feels very bad. They immediately come outside from that bunker, but by then it was too late because outside that poisonous rain had already started. So they decide to spend the night in that same bunker again. Meanwhile, when Simone and Patrick were talking, Patrick tells her that I do not care about anyone. Even Martin keeps saying a lot of things to me. So he suddenly gets up and goes into that poisonous rain. Here, Simone tries to stop him, but just then he pushes her and she falls down into the rain, and she too was now completely drenched in the rain. In the meantime, Martin comes with his gun. He was about to shoot him when Lena comes in front of him. She stops him from firing, but Martin also clearly refuses. So Lena also goes into the rain along with him, but just then he sees that the rain has no effect on them at all. Then he lowers his gun and sends them inside the bunker. Meanwhile, Rasmus and Beatrice were both sitting when a drop of that rain falls on Beatrice. Beatrice. Seeing this, she is completely horrified. She cries there because now she too was about to become infected. But Rasmus convinces her that nothing happens from one drop. Do not worry at all, so she spends the entire night in fear. Meanwhile, when Martin finds out that Simone had not gone into the rain herself, but rather Patrick had deliberately pushed her, he gets angry at him and tells him to get out of the bunker. Meanwhile, in the morning, when Rasmus wakes up and looks at Beatrice, the ground slips from under his feet because Beatrice had died there. Here, Martin also gives Patrick a final answer and says, "Pack all your things and leave from here because we do not need you anymore." So that very day, Patrick leaves from there in tears. Patrick goes straight to that same house where Rasmus was staying. When he arrives, he sees that Rasmus was coming outside carrying Beatrice's body. Seeing this, he turns around and runs away from there. He runs and falls at a place. As soon as he gets up, someone suddenly throws a cloth over his head and he is put into a vehicle. Then he sees that same man who was the leader of those hunters who had been relentlessly chasing them. That man asks about his other friends, asking where they are, but Patrick clearly refuses from the front. So he threatens him and says that if you do not tell us, I will pull out all your teeth one by one. But even then, Patrick refuses from the front. Hearing this, that man pulls out one of his teeth, so he ends up telling them everything about his friends. Meanwhile, Lena and the other friends were there packing all the food. Just then, Simone asked Martin about Patrick, asking where he is. Then Martin says that I had sent him outside the bunker and he has already left from here. Just then, the sound of someone knocking on the door comes from outside. As soon as Martin comes outside, Rasmus was standing there carrying Beatrice in his arms. But Martin stops him from coming inside because he knew that along with Beatrice, Rasmus had also become infected. But Rasmus does not listen to him at all and he comes straight inside the bunker carrying Beatrice. Rasmus was very sad seeing Beatrice dead. Just then, Simone wears a suit and comes to him and tells him that Beatrice is gone now. So now you will have to leave her and come with us. But Rasmus clearly refuses. And in the meantime, Rasmus takes a radio and leaves from there. He had just come a little further ahead when a voice comes on his radio. When he talks, that same hunter tells him from the front, "How many people are you? If you do not tell us, I will kill your friend Patrick." So now, not wanting to, he tells them his location. In the meantime, Patrick tells that hunter that Rasmus was near an infected girl before, but he himself has not yet become infected. Hearing this, those hunters are pleased from the front that he is the one person who can be of use to us. Meanwhile, Martin and Lena both bury Beatrice's body in the forest. But just then, Simone arrives there. And showing a map, she says that now we will have to find both Rasmus and Patrick because those hunters have captured them. She quickly flies the drone and makes a sound to distract one of the hunters. That hunter follows that sound and arrives at a place. And as soon as he arrives, all the friends grab him there. Here, Martin talks to his leader on the radio and says that I have caught one of your companions. If you want to see him alive, you will have to return our companions to us in exchange. The next day, Simone asks that hunter to talk to Rasmus. He tells him from the front that I want to die alone now. Hearing this, Simone tells that leader to meet her alone in the forest, and that very day she comes to the forest to meet him. That hunter tells her that your brother Rasmus's body is showing no effect of that poisonous rain. So now I am going to inject him with an injection from which we will find out how that poisonous rain can be stopped. In the meantime, Martin brings his companion there, and in exchange, Simone demands Rasmus back. So that hunter sends Rasmus back to them. And in anger, Rasmus snatches the injection from Lena and injects it into himself, from which he falls to the ground. Seeing this, everyone is completely horrified there, because now it seemed to them that Rasmus was no longer among them. But just then, he regains consciousness and starts walking safe and sound. Seeing this, Simone cannot believe it, because truly the virus had absolutely no effect on Rasmus's body. After this, Martin comes straight to Patrick and, seeking forgiveness for all his mistakes, embraces him. Here now, all the friends get ready to head towards Apollo Company. Just then, that same man lovingly kisses Rasmus on the forehead and says that you alone are our last hope to save all of us. After this, they all leave from there. In a little while, they all reach Apollo Company. As soon as they arrive, that hunter tells only Simone and Rasmus to go forward. The rest cannot go inside. They will have to stay in a bunker. The two of them move just a little further ahead, and there Frederick appears in front of them, meaning Simone's dad. Seeing this, she is completely startled. She is very angry at her dad because her dad had promised to come back, but many years passed and he did not come. Just then, Rasmus suddenly falls down and loses consciousness. They quickly take him to the medical ward, and Frederick asks Simone to wait outside. Meanwhile, as soon as all the friends come inside that bunker, Lena finds Jean's jacket there. She moves just a little further ahead, searching for him, and Jean was standing right in front of her. Seeing this, her happiness knows no bounds, meaning Jean was still alive, because those hunters were actually from Apollo Company itself. On the other side, Frederick brings Simone outside Rasmus's ward to show her his condition. Simone wanted to go inside, but Frederick stops her and says that there is nothing to worry about. I am doing all of this for you only, so that you all can be saved from this virus. Meanwhile, inside the ward, a doctor wanted to take a saliva sample from Rasmus, but Rasmus refuses her. Then that doctor forcefully tries with him, due to which Rasmus bites her hand. On the other side, Frederick quickly comes to Simone and tells her in a panic that, take your brother and go as far away from here as possible, because now no cure for this virus is visible, and it is going to spread very rapidly, which will cause everyone to die. As soon as he comes into Rasmus's ward, that doctor had died there writhing in pain from Rasmus's bite. Seeing this, Frederick quickly takes Rasmus's saliva, and when he looks at it under the microscope, the ground slips from under his feet, and he immediately puts an emergency on all the bunkers, and all the bunkers are completely locked down there. Frederick quickly talks to the manager of Apollo Company. He tells him from the front that somehow or other, perform Rasmus's operation so that we can make a vaccine. But Frederick knew that if he performed Rasmus's operation, Rasmus would lose his life, and he absolutely did not want that. So Frederick tells Simone that take your brother far away from here as soon as possible, because his life is in danger. Hearing this, Simone quickly comes and talks to Martin and tells him the way to open the bunker doors. And somehow or other, they open that bunker door and run away from there without Rasmus. But just then, Frederick arrives from the front and tells them that you will have to take Rasmus along with you as well. Just then, Frederick points his gun at them and threatens that if you do not take Rasmus with you, I will shoot all of you dead. But suddenly, Martin moves forward, and right at that moment, Frederick shoots him, due to which Martin gets badly wounded. But just then, Simone pushes him down, and somehow or other, they all save their lives and run away from there. And part 1 of this movie ends right here. If you want part 2 of this, write part 2 in the comments. And if you liked the video, please do subscribe to our channel.